Hi there. Greetings and welcome. This is Jo Zuleika, founder of the group Women Who Lead with Heart, coming on live for my weekly training session to connect with all of you and to share and feel a little inspired and just to connect. If you're watching me live, throw me a heart or an emoji. If you are watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I know who is there. The advertised topic for tonight is clarity. And this was inspired this past week by, I'm here in Salt Lake City, Utah, where we are supposed to stay close to home, but we're allowed to go outside for walks still, which is just glorious in the springtime. And this past week, we had sort of this odd April snow flurry come through and just scrub the sky, followed by bright sunshine. And I was out for a walk and I was just stunned by the incredible clarity of the air. I'm not a singer, but I want to invoke the song that I bet you all can think of in your head about how you can see clearly now that the rain is gone and that all obstacles are now not in your way. Do you guys know this song? I had this uplifting sense of like, I don't know if I've ever seen it this clear in Salt Lake City. I've lived here for about a decade, and Salt Lake City is sort of in a valley that's bordered by the Wasatch Mountains to the east and kind of expands out towards Nevada to the west. And there's a fair amount of industry in the southern part of the valley, and we have a huge international airport. It's the hub for Delta that flies everywhere in the world. And without me knowing it or really internalizing it or really understanding it, the air could be so much clearer than it has been and that now it is. It was so remarkable to see the air that clear. I could see all the way out to Salt Lake, the actual lake, and beyond. I could see all the way down boulevards in the daytime and be able to see the green lights turn to yellow light, turn to red light. I could see in stark relief buildings all the way down the valley, miles away, that was like, it almost felt uncanny. Like, how is it possible to be able to have that clarity when you just don't expect it? I've never experienced it. So if you're just joining me now, I'm talking about this past week when I was inspired to talk about clarity. When things are clear, so I had a physical experience, right, of experiencing clarity, just clean, clear air, because we're not driving, we're not flying. The snow had scrubbed the sky a little bit, and it was just a staggeringly, stunningly, starkly sharp, clear day. And with that comes this inspiration, right? You can imagine, or you can maybe go into your mind's eye, your memory of maybe doing a hike when you crest a summit and you just can see further and you have a feeling that goes with it, an inspiration. It literally is a moment for you to attain vision, right? You can see further and you feel inspired. You feel like you have vision for not just the beautiful landscape, but your life. It's also a feeling of being able to open up to more and feel like maybe there's more possible for me. Like possibility opens up. It raises your spirits. It gives you this sense of awe. Clarity is an amazing thing. Whether it's something that you experience with your eyesight or something that you experience more deeply and personally. So let's just visit for a little bit about why it was so impactful for me to have this clarity, this experience, because usually it's not here. When clarity is not here, and I'm going to speak both metaphorically about like the air, but also in our lives when we don't feel clear. It's the opposite experience, right? Instead of feeling expansive and open, when you don't have clarity, you feel sort of like you're contracting and you're not inspired. You're not feeling big and larger than life and like there's so much possibility. There's a sense of being small or closed, maybe fearful. Instead of feeling like you've got vision and inspiration, when you don't have clarity in your life, you feel confused, you feel overwhelmed, you feel uncertain. And it was so ironic for me to have this dual experience this week where the air around me and the vistas were so clarifying during a period when so many of us are feeling unclear and unsettled and confused and overwhelmed and unsure and absolutely not clear about whatever's going to happen, what the right answer is for us and our family, if we should be outside hiking, what this is all going to mean, right? There was just this real contrast between feeling clarity in my environment and acknowledging the unclarity that is in our hearts and our fears right now. So it inspired me to think about what do you do? How can we navigate our lives when we don't have clarity? And so if we're using the idea that when there's clarity, you can see and you feel inspired and you feel like you have some knowing of possibility, when that's not present, you have to trust. I thought to myself as I was looking out these broad vistas, like, I never knew you could see that town 5 miles away. But it's always been there. I just didn't know you could see it. So when there's not clarity, you need to trust. You need to trust that that which is there has always been there and will still be there, even if you're not sure. I also think about the metaphor of eyesight. And when we don't have clarity, we go to the doctor, we go to the optometrist. If you wear lenses like I do, you go sit in the chair, right? And they give you these lenses and they ask you better than or worse than. Is this good or is this good? And when you finally hit on your prescription, there's this like, wow, oh my gosh, it's so clear. I can see that. And then you kind of walk around town thinking like, wow, I didn't realize how much I could see. So when you don't have clarity, the metaphor here with eyesight is you go seek an expert, right? You go get help. You go ask help from an expert that can help you see better. I'd also like to say, with my deep tap roots in travel, that you can get a guide. If you can imagine yourself on a trail, on a path, on a road, in the dark, in the fog, you need a guide, somebody who knows the way. And you most importantly should not give in to fear. When you're confused, when you feel unclear, when there isn't this sense of clarity and knowingness, there's not an obvious path, the last thing we need to do is feel afraid and overwhelmed. It's natural, but it's not helpful. So when it's not here, what I just named was you need to trust, right? That which you can see today was always there and it will always be there. You need to seek help from experts. You need to get a guide, which is another form of an expert, and don't give in to fear when there's not clarity, when you don't have that experience. And so here comes the big pitch. Are you ready? The irony for me was when I am talking to clients for the first time as a coach, they book a call with me. And do you know what it's called? It's called a clarity call. And all of these things just sort of like wrapped up together for me as I was on this walk last week thinking, clarity. Obviously I've thought about it if I've named a phone call this, but it just helped me understand in such a deeper level about what coaching provides and why you would seek a coach even at a time like this, even if it feels like it doesn't make sense, even if you want to feel like the uncertainty is real and you want to honor that, and that being brave and bold and trying something new might not be the right time. Because what coaching does for you is supports this sense of clarity. What coaching does for you is helps you see your own blind spots and become clear to any limiting beliefs that you have, to any fears that you're holding, to any perspectives that aren't serving you that could be challenged, to any problem that you're perceiving alone in your own mind frame that actually could be reevaluated and shooken up and seen in a totally different way. Having a coach helps you gain and see your potential. Having a coach is also focusing, which has to do with clarity. It's having a moment to work with somebody to drill into something that you want to unpack, that you may not understand, that you need to explore, and come to some greater understanding with somebody standing alongside of you that's seeing it with you and helping widen your perspective and hold a bigger place for you to explore what is possible in your life. That's what coaching is. That's what I love doing it. It's an amazing process to be with people as they unfold and unpack and deconstruct things that are going on that are not serving them, that they want to drop. The small, closed, limited ways of being, the confused, overwhelmed, uncertain way of being, by having some attention and focus and accountability to new ways of acting that is supplied by their coach. So if you've never experienced coaching before, I totally encourage you to book a free clarity call with me to get a taste of what coaching is and to understand, is this something that would support you in your life? Coaching is about evoking transformation for people, not because the coach sees what you should do or has a vote on what your life should be or is rooting for a certain outcome. A coach stands with you, holding the biggest possible space for you, rooting for you, yes, in support, but also seeing you in a way that you don't even see yourself. More than your friends can see, more than your family can see, because they have a vested interest in you being the way that you are. It's a neutral but supportive person that helps you forward in the direction of the life that you're meant to live. It's an amazing process. When you're coached and you gain clarity, you are accessing something like an epiphany. Do you know what an epiphany is? I looked it up. I kind of know it by what it feels like, but an epiphany is literally a sudden realization or an internal knowing. When you are coached and you're in a process of gaining clarity and being accountable to the behavior that you're enacting to serve your best life, you are not thinking it through. You are trusting and feeling your way through. It's absolutely a remarkable experience. It's as if you don't need to think it, you just need to be it. So that's a little bit from me about what coaching is and how clarity and focus can serve you in your life. If you want a little reassurance, if you want that feeling of raised spirits, of knowing, of having some vision for your life, of being able to open up to more, then reach out to me. I'll put my booking link in the comments below for how you could book a free clarity call. And I really look forward to connecting with you soon. So that's what I've got about clarity. Bye for now.